What you laughing about, Papyrus? I guess spaghetti is pretty funny, huh? You always were best at appreciating the little things, Papyrus. Even if you're an idiot. Oh dear God, Papyrus, what kind of spaghetti have you created? Because if you followed the recipe, it shouldn't be doing that. Oh no, geez, what the fuck, Flowey? You shape-shifting demon! I bet you don't even like spaghetti. Bad flour, bad! That's a bad flour, that's a bad flour! Man, anyone who's never played Undertale must have no idea what's going on right now. I mean, I played Undertale and wrote this script, and I barely know what's going on. Now that's what I call original writing. I guess. Anyway, today's all about the Undertale universe and the crazy stuff contained within it. But I'm not here to give you a theory about Papyrus's true origins or Gaster's real identity. I'm here to answer the questions about Undertale you never thought to ask. I'm here to show you the side of Undertale that has been touched on, but never fully explained. Sound intriguing? I hope so, because we worked hard on this one. But not as hard as Papyrus's frozen spaghetti! Oh man, it feels so good to make such witty banter on this show. I'm sure you know the feeling, eh, Papyrus? So prepare yourself for the side of Undertale that is magical, literally magical, and makes you question reality, and makes you laugh, and makes you... Oh, get it away from me, dear God! Prepare yourself for the story you never knew. I'm here to tell you about the side of Undertale that has been touched on, but never fully explained. As you can imagine, this particular side of Undertale is rather spooky and quite unsettling. Yet it's not so much of a side as much as an unnerving undertone for the entire game. At the risk of going on a tangent, you may have wondered how exactly Undertale became so popular. There's the jokes, the music, the characters, the gameplay, the mystery. And these have all been praised ad nauseum. But isn't there something more? Sometimes I feel the jokes were more comic relief than pure comedy. And when you think about it like that, everything changes. You see, Undertale is, in fact, a tale about being underground. It's dark. There's monsters. There's a creep factor. You are an innocent child, and one of the first characters you meet is a kind motherly goat. But there's a sadness here. Goat Mom begs you not to leave for fear that another child in her care will die to the cruel underground. Sans, the funniest skeleton around, is ultimately revealed to be depressed, chronically dragged down by the realization that nothing he does matters. Papyrus, arguably the happiest monster in the underground, is blatantly delusional. And even the setting itself only exists because of a terrible tragedy long ago. In the very first minute, we're plunged into an ancient tale where humans and monsters coexist on the surface, where the sun shines and the rain falls and the air is fresh, when out of nowhere, humanity commits genocide against the monsters, using our superior physical attributes to instill so much terror that the monsters retreat to the dark, lifeless underground, where centuries later, Frisk makes their entrance. This story of the war of monsters and humans is our first exposure to Undertale's universe, and the legacy of this story plays out over the course of the game. We meet those who are dying to see the surface. A sort of low-grade despair runs rampant in King Asgore's kingdom. And blah blah blah, man, these story never news sure have gotten depressing lately. I mean, our last one was Are Pokemon Slaves More Free Than Us? And now I can't stop talking about how goddamn depressing Undertale is. Maybe I should see someone. And by someone, I mean this guy. Oh man, this guy can't stop talking about his hat. What a crazy dude. 7 children die before this game even starts. But at least their souls are represented by these colorful hearts. Oh, Toby Fox, you sure know how to dunk my head underwater and then pull me back out before I drown. Which is impressive. But what purpose does it serve? Now, here's where things start to get interesting. See, Undertale is often praised for having a ton of positive messages, be it staying determined or being honest, and of course the you don't have to fight to win mentality. Undertale has sent dank memes and positive vibes rippling through the internet, and yet that dark, kinda edgy rant I went on earlier isn't wrong. Whoa, Undertale, you sure are mysterious. Kinda like Five Nights at Freddy's, except with positive themes sitting next to the creepier ones. And thank goodness for it. If I had to look at 2 overtly dark and creepy franchises, I'd be a nervous fella. Thankfully, Undertale really knows how to lighten the mood, just as well as it knows how to darken it. I mean, we haven't even touched on the determination experiments yet. Why don't we do that next, huh? Seems like a reasonable place to find the less trodden ideas of Undertale. So, what are these determination experiments? To answer this, we need to uncover the horrors of the true pacifist route. Now, I know that sounds weird. What horrors lie in a run-through of this game where you consciously avoid killing at all costs, while also focusing on befriending as many monster pals as possible? That's like the nicest way you could possibly play the game. You go on a date with Alphys, run into Undyne, and get to experience the two lovebirds embrace for the first time. What could possibly happen to kill the mood? Well, when we get back to the lab during the true pacifist route, there is a note on the floor from Alphys telling us to go into a room to discover the truth. Now, Miss Alphys, what could this truth possibly be? We must go check it out! Through the door we go into an elevator? Alright, let's go. Oh god, what's going on? What? None of the buttons work? I guess we're trapped down here in the True Lab. Exploring around down here, we come across lab entries numbered 1 through 21 on panels throughout the lab, and 5 VHS tapes in the TV room. Well, actually, there are only 20 lab entries you can access in the game. Number 17 is nowhere to be found, but we'll touch on that in a second. While exploring the lab, we learn about the experiments that took place down here. King Asgore asked Alphys to free the monsters by unleashing the power of the soul. This is because the barrier between the human world and the monster world is locked by soul power. Soul power cannot be created artificially, but it can be extracted from a living being. So, Alphys can just extract souls from living monsters to get past the barrier. The problem is, it's not that easy. As entry 3 states, extracting a soul from a living monster would require incredible power. And while being impractical, monster souls also disappear immediately upon death, while human souls hang around. What's the cause here that allows human souls to be so persistent? Well, it's a good thing that past those anxious, insecure eyes is the mind of a true scientist. As Alphys states in entry 5, I've done it. Using the blueprints, I've extracted it from the human souls. I believe this is what gives their souls the strength to persist after death, the will to keep living, the resolve to change fate. Let's call this power determination. Determination! That's the key! Oh wait, but we knew that already. To dive deeper, we would need to explain the determination experiments. Asgore commanded everyone outside the city to bring the bodies of monsters that had fallen down, those that are comatose and on the brink of turning to dust, in order to learn if injecting them with determination will cause their souls to persist rather than perish. But if these modified monster souls do persist, then what happens to them? A monster cannot absorb the soul of another monster, and a human cannot absorb the soul of another human. Now we need something that is neither human nor monster. The ideal candidate coming from the center of Asgore's garden. A flower from the outside world. Flowey! Our lovable douchebag of a flower wasn't always so douchey. It was only after Alphys injected him with determination that he went down his path. However, the comatose monster bodies, once injected with determination, never turned to dust. And so, the souls never left their physical bodies. These saved monsters slowly opened their eyes and woke up. They're all walking around and talking like nothing is wrong. I guess it's time for Alphys to send them home. It seems as though the monsters are back to normal. Until entry number 16. No. Something's happened. Entry number 18. The flower's gone. Entry number 19. The families keep calling me to ask when everyone is coming home. What am I supposed to say? I don't even answer the phone anymore. Now let's digest this for a minute. Comatose monster bodies, incredibly close to death, are given determination in order to prolong the life of the soul after the death of the monster. That was the idea anyway. But nothing was happening. The bodies were not turning to dust. So Alphys just kept injecting them with determination in a desperate attempt to get this to work. And with enough determination, the bodies came back to life. Then something happened. Entry 16, then entry 18. No lab entry 17. Something happened that Alphys tried to cover up. The machine that should contain entry 17's information is inactive. Good try, Alphys, but it's not gonna be that easy. Reddit user Archmage Gold provided a text dump of the game where we can read the actual entry 17. Monsters' physical forms can't handle determination like humans can. With too much determination, our bodies begin to break down. Everyone's melted to together. So, for some reason, monsters' physical forms have some difference to the humans, which cause their bodies to break down and melt together into these creepy things. But what is the difference between human and monster bodies that would cause determination to make one form thrive and another break down? Well, it turns out it's the same difference that made humanity murder thousands of innocent monsters so long ago. It's also the reason that Undertale is one of the few, if not the only RPGs where you can win without fighting a single enemy. Quite the all-encompassing claim. And OP's about to deliver! The answer, gentle viewer, is found in a book in Snowden Library. No, not that Snowden. That Snowden. Inside Snowden Library, there is a blue book, which reads, "While monsters are mostly made of magic, humans are mostly made of water." Pretty mind-blowing, eh? Only if you know how to read between the lines and gather information from other parts of the game, namely this other book in the library, the Orange Book. It says, because they are made of magic, monsters' bodies are attuned to their soul. If a monster doesn't want to fight, its defenses will weaken, and the crueler the intentions of our enemies, the more their attacks will hurt us monsters. Therefore, if a being with a powerful soul struck with the desire to kill, let's end the chapter here. Quite the nonchalant writing style, with an important addition to the Blue Book. While the Blue Book makes clear that humans are more densely packed with physical matter than monsters, the Orange Book makes clear that this is because monsters' bodies are more attuned to their soul, thus making them mostly magic. Indeed, this is the reason that determination exists easily within humans and literally melts monsters, because magic and determination are opposites, like hot and cold. Think about it. When Alphys injected the dying monsters with large amounts of determination, all that remained was physical matter, a soup of atoms and molecules, still bound to a soul, still determined to stay alive, regardless of the grotesque form. Think of what had to be obliterated for the matter to turn into a disorganized soup like that. The magic that bound the physical matter within the monsters' bodies together. Us humans, the matter in our bodies is dense and intricate enough to support itself by itself. But monsters are more in tune with their soul, and less so with physical matter. And so, the physical matter in their bodies can't organize and support itself without the help of magic, the essence of the soul. Just like hot and cold cancel each other out, so too in the Undertale universe do determination and magic cancel each other out. Alphys injected so much determination that there was enough to slowly obliterate the magic bonds which held the monsters' forms together, and then still saturate the matter that remained. Talk about an overdose. These opposing forces of determination and magic, notice how their fighting plays out across Undertale. Recall the war of monsters and humans, where us humans, filled with determination, murdered thousands of innocent monsters and pushed them into the dark, lifeless depths of the underground and sealed them behind a barrier. It's revealed in the War of Humans and Monsters wiki that the magical makeup of monsters and the powers they gain from it scared us enough to commit such an atrocity. While our fears drove us to madness, they were clearly unfounded. The monsters, being made up of little physical matter and weak because of it, could do nothing against our onslaught. This human-monster war, the first piece of Undertale lore we ever see, is the most glaring example of the difference between magic and determination. While monster souls are supposedly made of love, hope, and compassion, human souls are largely composed of determination. That is to say, monsters are determined to do nothing in particular, while humans have goals and ambitions, and we stick to them, regardless of the consequences. Let's not forget that us humans struck first in the human-monster war, suffering not a single casualty. And so we acted on that fear and never gave up until the damage was done and the monsters had retreated and been sealed away. We were determined, and the monsters hardly put up a fight. Which reminds me, don't think I forgot about my promise to explain why Undertale can be completed without a single fight. It all comes down to the magical nature of monsters. Since determination and magic are opposing forces, one could say that monsters, being composed of mostly magic, are more open-minded than us humans, less determined to fulfill whatever goals they may have. You see, with the exception of Undyne, who has an abnormal amount of determination for her kind, every monster greets you before attacking. And even if a monster is reluctant to talk to you or avoid fighting altogether, it can be done. This is to say that monsters can be swayed in a way that every other video game enemy ever cannot. And the reason monsters can be swayed is because they aren't determined to do anything in particular. Yeah, Mold Small might want to fight, but he's not hung up on the idea. Give it the right compliments, tell a funny joke, and persist correctly, and any monster will be down to play your pacifist game. Such is the nature of magical creatures. Indeed, the nature of monsters versus the nature of humans is the side of Undertale that's been touched on, but never fully explained. The metaphysics of it all, the fundamental opposing forces of not only determination and magic, but also of positive and negative. Undertale is praised for its positive themes, not because it's an overtly positive game, but because the incredible moments stand out distinctly against the very real darkness of the rest of the game. The eclectic Undertale, with everything ranging from the hilarious to the truly disturbing, is an accurate picture of real life. The ups are made worthwhile not in and of themselves, but by being in stark contrast to the downs. And what better way to describe the dangers of determination without magic to guide you? By all means, stay determined, but don't forget about magic, the essence of the soul, the essence of life, and the ability to enjoy it for all that it is in the present moment. And that's the story. You never know. Ah, so deep. And you know what else is deep? The ability to have food instantly without having to cook it. Our friends at Soylent have really perfected the ready-to-drink meal over the years. Each ingredient is meant to be there and provides essential nutrition for you and your glorious body. Soylent has soy protein, sunflower oil, and even isomaltulose, which is essentially sugar made from beets. No joke, I drink Soylent every single day, not only because it's quick and easy and ready to go, but also because it's nutritious. Like drinking a salad that fortunately tastes nothing like a salad. Also, Soylent now comes in cacao and nectar flavors, which I cannot recommend enough. Cacao is chocolatey and nectar is nectary. So go give Soylent a try by clicking the link in the description and get 15% off your first subscription. And of course, a special thanks to Soylent for sponsoring this video. The amount of nutrition these guys are able to pack into a single little bottle is crazy. Give it a try. You'll be supporting the show and trying something that'll save you a lot of time. It certainly saved me a lot. And with that, thanks for watching everyone. See you in the next video.